Welcome back to Spotlight Games Podcast for episode 215. Tonight we're talking all about God of War Laufey, another God of War game. Xbox trying to put ads in our video games, and so much more. I'm your host, Patrick, and dropping in with me this week, Chunk like the Mando, aka Mando. Mando, how we doing?
We're doing great. We're doing really great, actually.
Yeah? What's so good? Tell me about it.
Things are... Personal things in my life are kicking into motion, you know?
Okay.
And although I'm unemployed, I'm spending so much, like, priceless time with my daughter that I will look back at, I think, this window of unemployment and be, like, so happy I was unemployed, actually.
That's awesome.
So life has been pretty awesome. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, life is good. We just, as viewers will know, people in the chat will know, or maybe they don't know, but they might notice my background is different because I just moved. For people that have been here since the beginning of Dido, know my tree saga. The tree saga officially closed in a brand new house. I mean, not brand new. It was built in like the 60s. But
it's new to you.
It's new to me, and it's... The guy that we bought it from was a builder, so it's just like it's got so many little like quality of life things. Like there's lights under the cabinets in the kitchen, like shit like that.
You won with that one. You won with that one.
Yeah,
super underrated.
Yeah, there are like just so many little things like that throughout the house that every day me and Rose just look at each other like, this is our house. This is so fucking awesome. So yeah, things also very good in my world. Although we're going to be unpacking for what feels like the next fucking 10 years because also as part of the tree saga, all of our shit was put in storage. And so for the last year that I've been podcasting from that tiny apartment, a lot of that stuff was stuff that we just bought for the apartment because our shit didn't fit in there and we didn't want to like worry about going through all this shit. And so now we have like a house worth of shit to go through that we have not seen in a year. Control, what's the tree saga? Yeah, you might not have been here. Then a tree fell on my house and destroyed so much of everything of mine, both our cars and a bunch of shit. So it was a whole thing. But the tree officially behind us. We made it through.
Made it through that. That's beautiful.
And here we are, just playing video games, having a good time, and talking about them right here, because this is the Spotlight Games Podcast, where each week we spotlight the latest and the greatest in the world of video games. You can get it by subscribing to our YouTube channel at Drop In Dropout Pod, or by searching for Drop In Dropout Pod on your favorite podcast app. And hey, you can be on the show by tuning in as we record live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time right here on twitch.tv/Drop In Dropout Pod. Like Control, like High School Weekly, like COD, like Kayla, like Jake, like Coal Mines, like thousands upon thousands of screaming fans. Be like them. Follow us on Twitch so that you're notified when we go live, so you can be part of the conversation. I have my 3 screens back as well. I can look right into the camera and see the chat. Oh, it feels good. We're cooking. But also, I'm so not used to having all of my gadgets that I'm kind of a bit like confused.
A little flustered. You're a little flustered right now. Don't know what to do.
Yeah, a little flustered, but I'm a lot less flustered because I have you sitting across from me. Folks that have been with Spotlight Games and Drop In Drop Out forever, they're well versed in Chunk like the Mando. But in case this is the first time listening, in case somehow maybe Control, he didn't know about the tree, maybe he doesn't know about Mando. Mando, tell us a little about you, about the things you're doing around the internet, and anything else you want to say. The floor is yours.
What am I doing on the internet? I'm talking about how billionaires shouldn't exist a lot of the time. I'm talking about video games and giving my own hot takes on topics like that, because I have my own podcast talking about games. I had an old podcast that's where I kind of met Patrick through that. Yeah, that's so serendipitous, man. We got to talk about that in detail one day. But yeah, talk about games online, talk about wealth and wealth gaps online, and basketball too.
Hell yeah.
You know, whenever I feel like it.
I forget, you're not a Knicks fan, but who is your team?
I'm a Cavs fan.
Cavs, that's right. I knew that.
I started watching basketball because of LeBron in middle school. Yeah. And when he left Miami to go back to Cleveland, I was like, yeah, this just feels right. Like, I don't know. Just something about it. I was like, this is home. So I stayed. Yeah.
I will forever regret, because, LeBron's career winding down. He's in Philly now, but we only have a couple years left at most, probably. Yeah. And I will regret when I'm older not watching more basketball during his era.
During his era? Yeah.
Yeah, because I've watched some here and there, but I've really missed out on the GOAT playing basketball. But what can you do? Kayla did say, how did you two meet? I don't know the origin story. I think we've talked about it before on Spotlight, but no time like the present. When we first started doing Spotlight, me and Cayman, I took there was this old app. I think it's probably dead now because I don't ever hear about it anymore.
Bright
called
Live.
Bright. Yeah, Bright Live. Yeah. And it was this like masterclass app, platform, all sorts of things, podcasting, music, comedy, like it was all sorts of things. And we both took a masterclass from one Danny Pena of Gamertag Radio, and it was like, I don't know, 4 or 5. It was like a series of classes, something like that.
Yeah, he did a few of them. I think that one we attended was the first one.
Yeah.
Because he had given me a ticket for it. He was like, "Hey, I'm doing this day. Like, come through."
Nice.
And I was like, "Sure, yeah, definitely."
Yeah. And then that was like, I just started doing Spotlight maybe like 3 weeks prior. And I was like, oh, this is like a good, I don't even know how I heard about Bright, because that's also how, for people that were here in Spotlight in the very, very beginning, how I got Maud Garrett on the show, because I took a class with her as well. And like met Troy Baker and like a bunch of cool shit through that class. But yeah, Danny Pena, that's how I met you. Also Michael Santiago, who came on the show one time.
Yeah.
Who I don't think does content anymore. But
yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah.
I love Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I will say something that stuck out that day is, you know, you go to these classes and you do things like this, and like some people like kind of stick out as like, yo, this person actually really cares about this and it might actually really be taking this seriously. Patrick was sitting there with a notebook and a pen. I was looking at him on the camera. I was like, this dude is serious. And at that time, you didn't have a mic. You didn't have a fancy background. I think you were still on like the laptop.
I was on the laptop, yeah.
And I was like, yo, this guy, like he's got it. And so when we connected afterwards, I was like, yeah.
I was very hungry from the start. And
yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
That's so funny.
Look where that is now.
Hey, look where we are now with all the thousands upon thousands of screaming fans in the twitch.tv/drop-and-drop-out pod chat. Well, folks, as I said, we are here to talk about gaming news, but as Spotlight Games is part of the Didosphere, in fact, it is our news show on Drop In Drop Out. I do want to cover some quick housekeeping of things happening around Drop In Drop Out this week. Last night, over on JK Games Podcast, Jerica, Kayla, Josh put Super Mario Sunshine on trial. I was unfortunately not around to watch it, so I haven't watched it yet. I jumped in the chat very briefly, but Jerica was committing crimes trying to talk shit about Super Mario Sunshine, and thankfully Josh and Kayla were defending it. So very excited to listen to that. So be like me, listen to that this week or watch it on YouTube. And then tomorrow night, right here on Drop In Drop Out, I'm hoping to join, but at the moment, definitely Jerica, Kayla, Josh, and maybe me going to do as much time as we feel like doing in the Halo Combat Evolved or Campaign Evolved co-op campaign mode tomorrow night around like probably 9:30ish Eastern time. So if you follow us, you'll know when we go live. And then Thursday night, right here on Drop In Drop Out, myself and Jerica, a bit of a back to school vibe in that it's about to be fall, so many games coming out. We want to kind of plan our gaming semester, if you will. What are we going to be playing? What's the must plays? What's the must haves? What are we skipping? What are we afraid might not hit? We're going to kind of go through the fall of video games and just talk through it and see. So hope to see you there in the chat so that you can tell us what you are going to be playing. Mondo, what's your most anticipated? Is it GTA 6 for the fall?
It is GTA 6.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know?
There's no harm in saying GTA 6 is your most anticipated.
Yeah.
I think for me, it is one of my most anticipated, but it's just been such a known quantity for so long. I'm kind of like burnt out on it already, but I know the second I hit start, I'm going to be in heaven. I'm going to be having so much fun.
It's like, it's one of those games that is everywhere. And it's, again, like you said, it's just been getting played for 13 years straight. But I feel like that forces us to forget how quality the single player is. Like every time that GTA comes around, you get that same feeling. Like you said, once you get to know the main characters and you start that first mission, it's like, oh, we're playing GTA now. Okay, great. And yeah, I think that feeling is still gonna hit regardless of how much GTA 5 you may or may not have played.
I muted myself because I was drinking, and I don't want the drinking sounds to come through sometimes. I apologize. Thank you. Go to jobandjopoutpod.com, join the Discord, follow us on all the things, buy some merch if you're so inclined to do so. We got shirts. We actually I'm going rogue here, Kayla. We have some new merch in motion that's going to be launching sooner rather than later.
Is it a crew neck sweater by any chance? Because I love a crew neck.
We are getting to the cooler months, so perhaps we have some more things coming. Jake Twitchin, how many subs for Drinking Sounds? Let's find out. Just start giving some subs, and we'll see if we get there. Well, folks, we have been catching up for far too long. It is now time to start our episodes how we always start our episodes right here at Spotlight Games, which is with what we are, which is with what we. I think I'm having a stroke. What have you been playing, Mando? Goodness gracious.
I'm playing a lot of things, but I narrowed it down to 3. Final Fantasy VI. I've been playing that for a little bit, and I'm trying to get it off my backlog. This is the Pixel remaster I'm playing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm playing Persona 4 Golden. I started that one a while ago. I put in like 3 hours, and I was like, yeah, I'm not ready for another 100-hour JRPG yet.
Sure.
And so I finally got back to it, and yeah, the Persona formula is just so good. It is so good. And I like the dark theme in this one, so I'm looking forward to it.
Hell yeah.
And I just started Disco Elysium.
No way.
A little less than a week ago. And yeah, this is the one game that I've never heard anything bad about.
Yeah.
And everybody who's played it and finished it is like, yo, whenever you play it, just they're always like, take your time, but it's gonna change your life.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those games, and I'm liking it. I guess I'm not so much of like a story beat kind of gamer.
Sure.
But it's interesting. It's interesting. And so I want to see it through.
Disco Elysium is one of those games where I was, from my perspective, lucky to play it. I played it when it first launched, the whatever they call the Game of the Year edition.
Mm-hmm.
It was released like a few years ago. It had like extra dialogue, and everything was voice acted now instead of just like parts of the game. There was like a little bit of extra story content maybe too. So it had been out for a long time, and it had already been like lauded a lot for a while. Mm-hmm. Extended cut. Thank you, Colemans. But I feel like I hadn't heard from so many people that game is incredible when I played it. And I had that experience of like, oh, this game is fucking incredible. But now I do feel like it's one of those games where it seems like most people understand that game is fucking awesome now. That I feel like it might be a bit of a barrier to entry these days of like, there's a big pair of shoes to fill with Disco Elysium.
There is, right? And so like expectations high. I try not to do that, like set a high expectation. I'm going in like, heard this game's good. We'll see.
Sure.
I was kind of just tripped up because I didn't look up anything about the game. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna play this, and it's like, all right, cool. Like, I have to set up my personality, and I can only have certain points and certain things. And now that's already let me know, like, all right, great. So I guess I'm gonna go down paths that not everybody goes down.
Sure.
Which is already really interesting because now we're getting into, what's the C word I'm thinking of? Consequence. Choice and consequence. Yeah. Oh.
It's the C word.
They might say that word in this game a lot, I imagine.
They do, yeah.
They get really down, and And so I guess I'm still trying to figure it out because they kind of just throw you into it like you're this cop, maybe, who is waking up drunk, and like the dude downstairs fucking hates you. The people upstairs don't know anything. It's really interesting. I think that's kind of what has me on the edge a little bit about the game, is that I don't really know what to expect or where we're going. But I'm down for the ride because the ride is fun so far.
It can be a bit of a cheat code sometimes of like the protagonist doesn't remember anything, but it can, like when it works, it really works for me.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, I really want to know, why doesn't he remember anything? Is he even who he thinks he is? What the fuck is that? Like when a mystery can grab me that hard so fast is always a very good thing, and it did for Disco Elysium for me for sure. I really want to check out their, there's all this drama about Zaum, of people leaving and being forced out and blah blah blah, but they did just release a game like a month or two ago, Zero Parades something. It's like there's a subtitle too that got like good reviews, but I'm also not hearing like anybody talk about it, and I wanted to give it a try and see. Because it's like, it looks very much like Disco Elysium, same art style.
I've actually seen this. I remember seeing the trailer for this. Zero Parades for Dead Spies.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So yeah, I'm
very positive on Steam.
Yeah, but then it's like, I wonder if part of it is just people aren't talking about it because it's not Disco Elysium, or people aren't talking about it because of all the Zaum drama. I don't know, but I do want to give it a shot at some point for before the end of the year, because I'm a Disco Elysium
sicko. I'll keep you posted on my journey.
Please do. You mentioned Persona 4 Golden.
Yeah.
You said you're 100 hours in? Is that what you said?
No. I know it's a 100-hour journey.
It's a 100-hour journey.
Yeah. I'm like 15 hours in. I just finished the first palace.
Okay.
Maybe not just finished it. I'm a little after that. But I haven't started like the next arc of the story.
Okay.
I actually just passed where they were supposed to go on vacation and they didn't.
Got it.
That's where I'm at.
Now that we know that we're getting the remake in February, right? The day after a game we're going to be talking about later today.
Yep.
Is that a consideration for you to not keep going and play that when it comes out? No,
actually it's not. I'm actually a big gotta play the original before I play the remake guy.
Fair.
Maybe not got to, but I really want to. Especially with this game where one of the things that people toot about it is the voice acting, because the cast is like some of the greatest voice actors in the world now.
Yeah.
And so I kind of want to play it through in that way. And I like playing the originals before remakes because I want to see what changed. Like I want to see, I'm playing Final Fantasy VI right now, and it kind of sucks that I actually didn't play the original versions to see what's different in this Pixel remaster. I heard it's not too much, so it's not a big deal. But but those are the things I think about.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like to play the original first, but other times, like with Final Fantasy VII, I was like, I don't have time to play the original. I'm just gonna play the remake.
Yeah.
And then that didn't serve me because I was like, what the fuck is happening in this video game? So I see both sides for sure. Well, I've been playing a few games, but first I want to shout out the homie Jake Twitchin for giving a sub for mouth noises. So let's just do a quick little mouth noise. Did I come through? Or did my... Oh, there we go. Mando got it for sure.
There you go.
Very good. I've been playing a few games. I've been playing Luck Be a Landlord, which is the last time I was on Spotlight with Kate from No Small Games. She sold me on this game. It is a mobile roguelite slot game. And the ultimate premise is you are trying to get enough money to pay your landlord, and every time you get to the point where you have to pay your landlord, they then raise the rent on you. And so you have to like figure out like, okay, now I have to come up with $1,000, and have I built up this like system of mine of like, there's like so many different routes you can go, like with any roguelite of like, there's all sorts of combos and like things like that it's like the perfect, I'm in bed, I am like on my way to sleep, but I'm not quite there yet. I want to just like keep having my brain be off, so I'm going to play this game that doesn't really require my brain. Having a very good time with it. Very stupid game, but a lot of fun. And it's $5, so it's like,
sounds good.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and because it's $5, I'm not getting fucking added out my ass with like that King game with the lava and all that shit that other games will do.
I'll always pay the $5 instead of the ad version. I remember when they actually both used to exist and stuff. And I was like, no, give me the paid version.
Jake says, finally a mobile roguelite. Finally. And then I have already talked about it on the show, but I am very close to finishing Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag Resynced. That game has like fully taken over my life. Like on the couch, streaming it on my Portal while we're watching whatever, just like going around the seas of the Caribbean, doing all the side shit. I'm not 100% in the game, but I will get to a point where I'm like 85% complete with this video game with how much I'm playing it. It's a great remake.
Did you play the original?
I did. Yeah, I played. That was the first game I got on the PS4 on launch day, and I played the wheels off of it then. Assassin's Creed is like I have a very soft spot for Assassin's Creed. Like it's kind of always like one of the very first franchises that I like dove headfirst into as a teenager. Yeah. I get either preteen or teenager. I forget exactly the year that the first one came out. And as I've said many times before, I love the present day shit. I'm like a sicko for the Abstergo present day meta narrative. And this game has like a little bit of new stuff in there, very, very little. And they took out the entire like playable modern day stuff from the original Assassin's Creed 4, which I think was probably for the best, because that was the first time you weren't Desmond in the present day. So it was this like first person weird thing.
I'll say that's kind of why they lost me at Black Flag. They lost me after Desmond. I was like, there's no way they're doing this to me.
Yeah,
no fucking way.
And I can't believe, like, I mean, I guess this is a spoiler, but it's not really. I can't believe that they've still not figured out a way to recapture,
to close that loop,
Desmond, and to close that loop and like bring. I would have expected Desmond would have come back by now, but
I know.
Fuck us, I guess.
But
fuck
us. Yeah.
Black Flag Resynced, I think, is such a great like remake, reimagining.
Where does it rank in Assassin's Creed for you overall?
In the a top handful for sure, because it's like the thing that I really like about Black Flag is obviously the pirate of it all is very fun, and it's like the way that they made being a pirate on the seas feel as good as it does for the first time in my experience back in 2015 was I think very special. And now like with the tweaks they've done to it and whatnot, but it's also the last Assassin's Creed game before they really kind of blew up the formula and made it like more of an RPG, which I do love the newer format of Assassin's Creed as well, but I really have missed that like simpler, I go on assassin missions, it gives me a couple ways to do it. It's a bit more focused. Yeah. But it was like their first kind of treading into what we're going to have, like the main thing be focused, but also we're going to give you a million other things to do. And then the next time they were like, let's just only give you a million things to do.
Basically make it into a Far Cry game.
Right. Yeah. But having a very good time with it. And then also a surprising new addition for me. I've been playing Splatoon Raiders on the Switch too. Mondo, are you a Splatoon guy?
I am not a Splatoon guy. I have Splatoon 3, but I bought it because it was like $20, and I was like, I have to play one of these. And I just haven't put much time into it. But this feels, obviously this is a different take on Splatoon. It's like a different style of game. Talk to me about it, because I'm actually thinking this is more down my alley than the original games.
So it's not true that I've never played Splatoon. I played a beta for Splatoon 3. One weekend. It was like an open beta, but I'm not the multiplayer guy. I'm not the go into only PvP type game mode for me. And so I remember that one weekend I played it, I was like, I see why people like this from how the game feels, but it's just the game modes don't speak to me and my preferences. And so when we learned that we were doing a first player or a single player only, and like, there's co-op or whatever, but there's no PvP, Splatoon, I was like, this is my entry point into Splatoon. And I've not played a ton yet because I've been so Black Flag pilled, but this Splatoon game, I tell you what, this is a pretty good video game. I'm having such a good time with the little bit that I've played. I'm still like, because one of the big things with Splatoon, it's optional, but I think the kind of expected way to play Splatoon is with the like gyro aiming, and I'm really not used to that yet. It feels really strange to me, but people swear by it, and that when it clicks, people say that like it feels so much better than just like doing the sticks or whatever. So I'm really trying hard to get to a point where it clicks for me, but so far it hasn't. But that being said, I really like how so uniquely Nintendo this game is, and how it's just so weird and goofy, and the gameplay loop is so fun. Like getting the ink all over the world that then also becomes your ammo, and also as a way to traverse the landscape and like go under enemies or go around enemies, or like there's so much cool shit in Splatoon that has been there from the beginning, but is all brand new to me because this is my first time ever playing Splatoon. So in a way, it's like I'm having this really cool experience, I think, of I'm playing a game that they have had 3 previous iterations of to learn from the mistakes and like figure out better ways to make the game feel. That now I'm just getting like a great version of Splatoon and I didn't have to waste my time with like them figuring it out essentially. And also the like character design is so weird and unique and like very like beach core, like I don't know, it's like it's weird.
It's like different. Nintendo meets like Team Rocket or something.
Yes.
Not Team Rocket, Rocket Power. Sorry.
Yes, yeah.
Rocket Power. Yeah,
I heard Rocket Power even though
yeah. So it's kind of like somewhere in that mix of that.
Yeah, I agree. And so yeah, I'm very excited to. I will probably finish Black Flag tonight. I tried to finish it before the podcast, but I wasn't able to. So I think I'm gonna just like dive into Splatoon Raiders after this after I finish that, because I'm very down with what I've been playing so far. Also, the chat really wants some commentary on Shiver, who is one of the characters in the game.
Let's see. Yeah, I saw the comment. I gotta look it up.
She's the one with like the purple kind of emo looking hair where it like covers half her face. I guess people on the internet big fans of Shiver.
It's giving. It's giving.
It is giving. Can I get an age check on Shiver though before I comment? Please. I don't want to walk into that one. Jake says she's the one with the body that is T, 20 something. Okay. 23 to 25.
Okay.
All right, we'll allow it then. She's the one with the body that is T is very funny. But yeah, Splatoon Raiders. I'm excited to see where this game goes. I've been hearing that for some people it's a bit simple in that like there's only a few like mission types, but I hope that won't really matter to me, as like this is all just brand new to me, that it'll feel more novel in that way. But we'll see.
It's cool that Splatoon is, I guess, big enough to get a spin-off game in Nintendo's eyes. I mean, me and Jordan were in the Nintendo store last week, and they had like a whole half a section for Splatoon clothing and stuff, and I was like, okay, I guess people really must like Splatoon like that.
I will say one other thing I forgot about. In the time that I've played, I've always been told by people around the internet that the music in Splatoon is like peak.
Okay.
I don't know if the narrative around Splatoon Raiders is that the music has taken a nosedive, but the music in this game is dog shit. Like it's just like noise. It is not good music, and I'm very disappointed in that, because I had kind of been like pushing off starting to play it, because most of the games I play on Switch I play while I'm watching something, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna wait to start Splatoon so I can get like the full sound experience, and I played for like an hour and a half, and I'm like, the music is like bang, bang, bang. I'm like, what is this? This is just sound. It's not music. So I don't know if anyone's having that experience, but the music in Splatoon Raiders really,
that is so hilarious, because that was kind of my experience when I popped Splatoon 3 in, and I was kind of just walking around, and I was like, this music is so interesting.
I feel like with the beta weekend, I remember being like very like funky and like cool, and this one is just like,
maybe it's the battle music. Maybe they just don't got that in Splatoon and Raiders.
I don't know. Maybe. The normal Splatoon music is peak. This one is weird vibes. Okay, that's good to know. That I've not been lied to. It's just that I happened to.
You played the wrong game.
Right, exactly. Oh well. Any other games you want to talk about before we jump into some news?
No. Okay. We can jump right into it.
Well, our first news story. This one broke late last week. This is from Comic-Con, that we got a date for God of War Laufey, and another God of War game announced as well. I'm going to pull from Andy Robinson at VGC. Sony has confirmed that God of War Laufey will release on February 16th, 2027, as the series' creative lead confirms Kratos will return in the next installment as well. Speaking during a panel at San Diego Comic-Con this weekend, Sony Santa Monica studio creative head Corey Barlog announced that the next God of War will connect directly to the Laufey story and star Kratos. No further details were revealed during the panel. PlayStation 5 entry Laufey is the first mainline God of War title to star a protagonist other than Kratos in Faye, Laufey the Just, Kratos' Norse wife, and the mother of Atreus, who dies in the events leading up to the 2018 God of War. Spoilers. Speaking during the Comic-Con panel, Barlog said he wanted to create Laufey to expand the world of God of War. Quote, I wanted to show an extension of this world and where the characters you'll encounter are unexpected. Laufey is a continuation of what came before and to prepare and expand what comes next. Awakening unexpectedly in a strange land after her funeral, Faye discovers the plans she put in place to protect Kratos and Atreus are now at risk. To save the ones she loves, Faye must fight through the afterlife of the gods, the Everywin, which is a great name, where ruthless gods from across mythology vie for power in a land overflowing with dangerous magic. So story number 1, God of War Laufey, February 2027. Mando, your initial thoughts?
I was not expecting this. I gotta say, I'm gonna eat shit on this. I didn't even think this game was gonna come out next year. I didn't care what anybody was saying.
Me too.
I was like, there's just no way. There's just no way.
Yep.
So cool. took me by surprise that it actually is. I mean, I should have known when they tweeted on a Saturday, like, yeah, now this game is getting a physical edition. I was like, okay, I guess. Sure. I still didn't believe it, but I was like, all right. My initial thoughts are, this is awesome, because I love the God of War games, and I think this game is going to be right up the alley. Going to be more God of War with her own unique sort of combat. I will say, though, this does make me feel like I think this game is the Miles Morales Spider-Man game of the God of War games.
You've stumbled into my second question.
Yeah, and so I don't think that this is a full-fledged God of War game in the way that 2018 and Ragnarok were.
Yeah.
I totally think this is... So, like, those were 20 to 30-hour experiences. I think this is probably going to fall somewhere in, like, 10 to 15. And it'll be a shorter game. You can probably 100% it in, like, 20 hours or something. Similar to, like, Miles Morales. It was a great game. Shorter than the other games. And was just good enough. And gave us kind of that little step before God of War. Yeah. So it kind of makes sense. Like, God of War is getting a spin-off sort of game. I guess not a spin-off necessarily, but someone else in the series. I'm more surprised that this was even Laufey than it was Atreus getting a game.
Sure.
Us getting a confirmation that Kratos is in the next game lets me know that, great, all right, Atreus' game is a ways away. Because I still think he's going to get a game.
You think so?
I
don't know at this point.
I don't know. I just, like, really? Like, we did all of that in Ragnarok, and, like, you ain't going to give him his shine? He deserves a game. Like, older Atreus. See what happens. Maybe that's what the next Kratos game leads us into.
Could be. Yeah, there was another comment. This article didn't have it, but there was a comment also mentioned that basically, I think it was Cory Barlog, was like, Kratos will always be connected to God of War games. Like, that's why the next one will be a Kratos game. So, because I know at some point they were like, thoughts and questions and discussion around, like, would Atreus, like, replace him, and, like, eventually we just start playing as Atreus in these games. Kind of sounds like that wouldn't be the case.
Did think
maybe we do get like a one-off, like you said. I don't know. I was gonna ask, do we think, like, size-wise, what are we thinking on this game? I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit bigger than what you were saying, but I do think that it'll probably be closer in scope to 2018 or a smaller 2018 than a Ragnarok, because Ragnarok was fucking big. Like, it felt so much bigger than 2018. But then I wonder, and I think about how this game has been in development for so long, and that the idea has been gestating for so long, that I do wonder if this will be, like, somewhere between 2018 and Ragnarok in terms of size, and, like, be even bigger than 2018. I don't know, but I do find it interesting that they're already teasing the next game, and that then, like, now my head's spinning. It's like, then I start to think about what you're thinking about, of, like, maybe this is a much shorter experience, and maybe that's also why it's coming so soon. I don't know. Yeah,
and now the reason I even think that originally is, like, it's coming so soon, but it's the marketing for the game. The reason I thought this wasn't a 2027 game is because PlayStation doesn't announce games that are coming out within a year. Like, if it's coming out in the next year, you probably heard about it the year prior. And we usually get, like, a window at least a year before the game comes out.
Sure.
And so this kind of reminds me,
kind of crazy.
Yeah, and to get a date, it was like, all right, well, damn. Like, okay. And this does kind of remind me of, like, Miles Morales, where leading up into the PS5, we knew it was coming. It came really quick after they announced it, and it was this, like, Spider-Man 1.5 before Spider-Man 2 came out. Sure. And I see this as, like, a God of War 2.5 before Kratos' next game, which would be God of War 3. Because when the marketing thing was big for me. Like, that's why I didn't think the game was coming out, because either PlayStation is changing its strategy on how it markets its biggest tentpole games, or this isn't a big tentpole game.
Sure.
That's how I viewed it. I was like, 20 minutes of showing off this game. They never do this. Like, it's just, I don't know. Maybe I got too much in my own marketing bag about it, because that's the way I view most things. But this is just not how they market their big games. Like, they announce them, they tease them. Within a year later, you might get a trailer, and then sometime at least a year before it releases, they'll give you the window, maybe a release date.
Interstellar.
That's the way they do it.
The example.
Interstellar.
Right? Like we saw that, what was that, 24,
got a teaser.
25. I think it was 25. No, last year was 25. So 24 Game Awards.
Yep.
Nothing since then. And it's almost, we're on our way to the 2026 Game Awards. And now today, actually in our Discord, Coal Mines dropped a thing. I didn't read into it, but there was something on Twitter about a hint that maybe Interstellar is also next year. I didn't see like what that was. Coal Mines, maybe if you're still here, if you want to drop that.
That's been a rumor for a while too, actually.
But yeah, it's like, okay, so then now in the span of getting Interstellar announced, and we don't even have a year, we have gotten the next God of War game, a date, and another God of War game teased,
yeah.
It's like, so maybe they are changing their strategy. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I think PlayStation is also just an interesting position where, like, I don't want to say I don't think that they're doing good. I don't think that they're doing as well as some people think they are, or like the way some of the numbers maybe crunch, where I think that's kind of why they're releasing smaller games. That's why they're continuously chasing like these live service games still. I don't know. Maybe they are changing the way they market their games. Maybe that's just something that they're doing. But that's been their thing. And so, like, I got to see it happen with another game where, like, all right, I'm like, damn, okay, well, we got another game within a year before hearing anything and stuff. So, because that's the Ragnarok, they gave us a teaser. And I remember when they first teased it, I think it had like a 2021 date on it. And I was like, that shit's not coming out on that. I was like, there's absolutely no way. And then it did get pushed back. But gave us the year. Yeah. Came out more than a year later. I don't know. It's kind of their thing. So
yeah, I mean, in a way, I'm very surprised with the way that this game has panned out, because I have been beaten down by the games industry to believe anytime they tell me a date, I go, nah, not true. No, at least one time, not true. And so for them, first of all, I won't be surprised if this pushes to like April or May.
Maybe,
because
I wouldn't be surprised.
But it'll definitely come out in 2027. Like, this is, I think, the safest. This and Fable, also coming in February, the two like safest Fantasy Critic first round picks of next year for drop and drop out for sure. But it's like, I do wonder, what is the next PlayStation game to get fully revealed? What is the runway for that? Because I don't even. I'm trying to think. Like, we're Interstellar from Naughty Dog. Insomniac, we're about to get Wolverine. We just got Yote last year, so we wouldn't be hearing from Sucker Punch in a while. And there's all the things like Gran Turismo and stuff, like those don't count in this conversation.
We don't have another big one.
We don't have another big one.
I thought about this after they announced this. I was like, I didn't think it was coming out next year, because I was like, well, if Interstellar is really coming out in 2027, then Intergalactic. Sorry, I gotta go watch Interstellar. But if that's really coming out next year, then in my mind, I'm like, you have to save a God of War type game for 28, because what do you have coming in 28? I don't know any, like, after these two games, I don't know what.
We have no idea,
of the big
unless we're both forgetting
coming.
Something, but I don't believe we are.
I don't think we are. No.
So then, I mean, I don't know. I'm very interested to see that. But then, part 3 of this conversation is this other Kratos game.
Yeah.
They've said it's going to connect in some capacity with Laufey.
Yep.
It'll continue this, whatever this Norse saga is called, whatever that it may be. Do you think if this one is, let's say you're wrong, and this one is a full ass 25, 35, 40 hour game. Yeah. Do you think that the Kratos one then also is, or do you think that's a smaller experience?
No, yeah. I think the Kratos game is also just going to be a big game too.
Yeah. So then I don't know that could be in 28. Way too soon.
Yeah, way too soon. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, reusing assets, like, you know what I mean? Like, who knows? It depends what the third game is going to be about, I think. But just them saying, because I think, the reason a lot of us thought that we were moving away from Kratos, and there was this big idea that we may be moving on to Atreus, is we kind of saw Kratos' story through. Like, he kind of didn't really have anything big to chase anymore. Like, he kind of saw Atreus through. He lived out Laufey's requests and stuff, and it was kind of like, all right, like, what now? Yeah. And so I think that interests me with this game, because that means that this game introduces another reason for him to have to come into the fold again. Yeah. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's her not being able to come back from that world after this. Like, who knows what it is.
Ooh, now you got me excited.
From this game, something is going to happen that makes Kratos go, well, all right, well, I got to go get the blades again, I guess. Fuck, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Because then I wonder, because this one going into the everywhere or every win.
Yeah, everyone. That's fire.
Fire name, dude. I wonder if the next Kratos game is not Norse, if we just fully move to another realm entirely, because that could be a cool way to also change it up of like whatever this new arc is going to be. Also, Control in the chat totally reminds me there's the remake trilogy that's on its way.
Yeah, that's
so maybe, I mean that could be 28. I bet that's probably targeted for 28, but that's also not. Obviously, that's not an intergalactic. That's not a Laufey. It's not a Wolverine. But it would be.
It is going to reinvigorate people for sure.
It'll reinvigorate people, and I do think it could be in a world in which PlayStation is like, because of how much they fucked up with their live service strategy, they're kind of always like, we used to get like 3 to 4 AAA massive Sony games a year. Now we're getting like 1 to 2, maybe even just 1. Maybe that ends up being just like a kind of a down year for PlayStation in 28, and then 29 we come back, unless Intergalactic ends up being 28.
The PS6 is coming out in 28, and it's just like, how?
Yeah.
What are you even putting out with it?
Yeah, I'd love to be a fly on the wall in the
I would love to.
PlayStation strategy meetings right now.
Yeah, I would love to. But yeah, I mean those are valid points, and yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. I will say, as it relates to the size of this game, we're gonna know because when I saw this, I was like, oh man, is this gonna be a $50 game? If it's not a $70 game, that will automatically convince me this is a smaller game. Because if it is the size of a 2018 or Ragnarok, they're charging 70 bones for it. But if they're charging 50 or 60, it's probably because they think people will end up playing it and be like, damn, I played $70 for that.
Sure.
Yeah, so I think because pre-orders are not live for it yet, are they?
I don't think
so. I feel like we would have probably heard about that too.
But I don't know. So usually when we get a date, I feel like
we get the pre-orders.
But they typically, when pre-orders go live, also they're like, you can buy a $300 version where you get a little cube of Jello, like whatever. So they must not have.
No, I don't think so, because I feel like we would have just gotten price. Yeah, pre-order's not live yet.
Okay.
So once they go live, I think that'll be an interesting point to have that conversation of what the size of the game might be.
Yeah. Control says, don't make fun of Frank. Oh, I'm not making fun of Frank. I'll tell you this. If there's a special edition where I get Frank the Jello cube, almost certainly I'm buying it, so it can go with my Ragnarok special edition hammer in my background that I'm finally reunited with. I haven't seen that thing in so long. Okay. Next news story, Mando. I'm very interested to see what you think about this, because we both are marketing people. And this next one, Xbox is starting to test the ability to stream games for free with ads. Again, pulling from VGC, this is Chris Scullion. At the moment, players are only able to stream Xbox games through cloud gaming if they have an Xbox Game Pass subscription. The higher the Game Pass tier they have, the shorter the wait time to connect and the higher quality of the stream. Now, as reported on the Xbox Wire blog, Xbox insiders are able to test an ad-supported way to stream games they own for a limited time. According to Xbox, ads will play before game sessions start, but not during gameplay, to ensure the core game experience is unchanged, and sessions will be limited to 1 hour in length. It also stresses that this method is optional and players can choose other ways to play their games, such as with paid cloud streaming through Game Pass or downloading and playing the games locally at any time. Xbox says it will stand by the following 5 rules when using ad-supported services on Xbox. We start with the player. Ads should create value. We do not interrupt the flow of gameplay. We hold ads to the same quality bar as our content. We're clear about what's advertising, and we make sure ads fit what players expect on each platform. Quote, advertising has existed in gaming for decades, from in-game placements to free-to-play models, Xbox said on its official blog. Quote, but it hasn't always been built with the player in mind. When done well, advertising can help lower the costs of access. It creates another way for players to get into the games without an upfront streaming purchase and expands audiences through new ways to play. It added, we'll learn from this test and continue to improve it based on how players use it and what they tell us. Our goal is simple: give more people more affordable ways to play. Fuck this is my initial thought. What is your initial thought?
My initial thought is slippery slope.
Slippery
slope, man. Because once those ad dollars start coming in, they never stop.
Correct.
They never stop. Once the ad dollars start coming in, they never stop, because it doesn't matter how much we pay. We don't pay as much as advertisers do. Like, them, they got wallets.
Correct. And as Control says, those ads are coming mid-game. Within a year, they're going
they
to
said an
break
hour
their
limit.
fucking fire. Yeah, they're 5 pillars. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so, like, cool. It sounds great on the surface, like, giving people... Because, like, here's the thing, though. Like, when I first read this, I was like, oh, wow. They're giving people free access to Game Pass. That actually sounds pretty cool. Like, you just got to watch some ads. That's interesting. But this is like, no, you're going to watch ads to play games you already own, just be able to play them on the cloud, which you would otherwise need a Game Pass subscription to do. And that just feels like ass. Like, that just doesn't feel good at all. Like, for sure. I'm not getting anything that I didn't already pay for. I'm playing the game I already bought. I'm just accessing it from another point, which you're kind of making this assumption that, like, I went out and bought a $60 game, but I don't have the console for it, and I'd prefer to play it on the cloud other than anywhere else. It's just weird. It's like, I don't think you're solving a big enough problem that warrants bringing advertising into the fold.
Sure. I mean, for them, it's ad revenue. It's
ad revenue. No, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but it sucks as the player.
Yeah.
And, like, sure, streaming a game comes with a cost for somebody. Yeah. In this case, usually Microsoft. Yeah. And so they're wanting to pass that on to the player. It's just like, it's the kind of thing for me where it just feels so gross coming from a $1 trillion company that, like, the revenue that this is going to generate will help offset some fucking thing in your financials that you're like, oh, well, we're going to bring in 10 million here or whatever. And then that way, like, closing down this studio or whatever makes, whatever the thing is, it's just going to be dragging and dropping in an Excel fucking spreadsheet. But it's just like, they don't need to do this. They don't need the ad revenue. They don't, this whole, like, giving players a way to access the games for free is like, it's just, it's gross.
Not even for free. They paid for the game. And so, like,
oh yeah, true. Good point.
And this is like the weird thing with Xbox, where, like, if you buy a certain game, if it's Xbox Play Anywhere, you can play it anywhere. Like, you might not be able to access it on the cloud because you need a Game Pass to be able to do that, but you can go play it on like a computer. It'd work on your PC.
Sure.
It just feels like you're creating this ad option to not really give anybody anything and just give them access in a way that most people don't want to access their video games, which is like through the cloud. When I originally read this, and I thought, because my first thought was, oh wow, gotta watch an ad to be able to play maybe Xbox Game Pass Core. That might be serviceable for somebody, like somebody who just has a phone and maybe could afford to buy a controller or something, already has one, and now I just gotta watch a 2-3 minute ad and I could play an hour of a game I didn't even pay for. That sounds like a decent value proposition. I still don't like it because it's slippery slope of bringing ads into games, but at least now the customer is getting something for watching the ad. They're getting access to this game that they didn't pay for.
Sure.
But having already paid for it and being like,
that is a good, like,
now you can play it on the cloud is like, what the fuck? Like, absolutely not. That's so just ridiculous.
Yeah, especially like,
and to play it for an hour too. Like, what?
Right. And like, and yeah, I guess that Control clarified in the chat. It's like you get to the end of the hour and then you just have to do ads again, and then you do another hour. So like, but like, I think about how
that's not going to get in the middle of my gameplay.
Right. Yeah. Fuck off, Xbox. But then I think about how, like, Nintendo doesn't really have any sort of streaming other than when you're streaming, like the Nintendo, like N64, that's a streaming.
Yeah, that's
experience.
just, Mm-hmm.
But in terms of their actual, like, games they're releasing, there isn't really like a streaming option for Nintendo. But with PlayStation on the Portal, like, I've put about 50 hours so far into Black Flag. I would say I've probably done 30 to 35 of those hours streaming it on my Portal, not remote playing it, but streaming the game and it works
directly to it. Yeah.
And it works great. Like, sometimes the clarity will drop a little bit to like 720 or whatever, and then it'll fix itself. But it's like, and it works so well, much better than I've experienced cloud streaming on Xbox. Granted, what I've experienced it through has been through the Steam Deck, which is like not.
Okay, yeah, not direct-to-video.
It's like I'm bypassing a thing, but it's like if this fucking makes it to where PlayStation starts doing this shit too, I'm gonna be so pissed because it's like such a. I have invested in these platforms. In PlayStation, I bought a Portal, which was not cheap. I pay for PlayStation Plus, which is fucking expensive. Really I buy these games, and thus I feel like, to your point, that is the value prop for me of, okay, I've now invested over $1,000 for the console, the game, and the Portal. Letting me stream it feels like a fair trade-off. And so if they come in and try to do this too, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah. But I will say, just to be fair to Nintendo, the reason you don't need the streaming over there is because the game just plays off the Switch. Right, and so like it unlike the Portal, which you need internet to be able to play the games.
True, no, that's a good point.
Nintendo really figured it out with that one, man. Like not excited for a PlayStation 6. Excited for a PlayStation handheld. If that happens.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll see though. We'll see.
Me too.
Any other thoughts on that? I don't know if I have anything else to say about it. It just sucks.
No, not really. I think the thesis statement is slippery slope of like I'm very cautious to see like where they go from here, but I guarantee you it's gonna suck. I guarantee you it's gonna be worse, and it's going to be more predatory, and it won't be ads that like serve gamers. Like it's gonna be bullshit, and at some point it's gonna be fucking political ads. I'm sure. Like it's gonna be,
and just to give some examples of how bad it can get. I have Amazon Prime, or my wife does, and I have, we watch Prime. And I have to watch ads before some shows.
Yeah, they did that thing where like you have to pay even more.
What the fuck?
For ads.
You have to pay even more, so I don't have to watch ads, even though I already pay for the service. Yeah. And that tier once did not have ads.
Right.
But I knew the end of times were here, Patrick, when I went on Amazon and they were charging $3 a month just so that I could have Dolby Atmos, so that the thing I'm watching that has Dolby Atmos actually turns on the switch and lets my Dolby Atmos work. $3 a month. I was like, nah, no way. We've reached the end of times. BMW had a subscription for like seat warmers or some shit. Like so your seat can have warm. Get the fuck out of here. What the fuck?
Man, when we cut the cable wire and went to streaming, I never expected it would get this fucking bad. It has gotten so bad. What I would give to only be paying $200 a month for everything in one place instead of now I'm paying more than that for various levels of ads and no ads. And every week I'm having to re-sign into one of them. At some point, one of them is like, oh, you got to re-sign in again. It's like, fuck, I got to do the QR code. I got to click the button. Oh, I'm not logged in on my phone anymore. I got to go find my fucking password that I've changed because my data has been breached by one of these fucking places. And I changed it to a bunch of letters and symbols and capitals and not capitals. Yeah. It's like, just let us enjoy our shit.
We also lost that feeling of just sitting down and turning on the television and just seeing what's on.
Yeah.
I had my sister-in-law come over. I have a LG C3 and LG has like a watch free like app.
Yeah.
And it has like free channels, like the kind of stuff that you would get if you had an antenna plugged into your
There's
TV.
a deal or no deal channel on the Samsung TV.
Yeah.
It's great. Or no, you're on the LG, not Samsung.
And so she turned it on and she was like, you have cable? And I was like, no. And she's like, but you have all these channels. I was like, I don't know. It just has them for free. They're there. And she like started flipping through and we all ended up sitting down and watching the show that she had just put on. And I was like, damn, I kind of miss this. I kind of miss
nostalgic feeling.
Just like a movie being on and being like, damn, this is on. Throw it on.
Yeah.
In the DVR era, you could start it all the way from the beginning, but at least you like it kickstarted the interest to just jump in and dive in. Yeah, we messed up. Yeah, bring it back. They are trying, I think. It's so funny because now they're trying to combine services and figure it out. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, y'all trying to take us back to cable now. Jesus
I know.
Christ.
And like I because I moved into this new place, I got new internet, and they're like, with this internet, you can get Xfinity, but if you want to give it, or you can get it's Xfinity internet, you can get Peacock, But if you want to give us $6 more, it'll be Peacock with no ads. I'm like, ugh.
Oh my God.
Or if you want to add another $10, you can get Apple TV. I'm like,
YouTube actually just did that. Now, if you have YouTube Premium, you're gonna get the ad level of Peacock as well.
Oh, interesting.
As a part of that, yeah.
They're
trying to get us used to the ads, man.
I know. I need to just give somebody that. I have like 3 extra Peacock subscriptions now because I'm getting it from YouTube. Apparently, I'm getting it from Xfinity. So just 2, not 3, but still, it's all bullshit. Free subscription maxing. Now that's something, Kayla. Let's jump into our news spotlight. This is just kind of our catch-all. All the other news stories that I want to talk about for this week. Speaking of Xbox, for anybody that experienced the Xbox outage earlier this week, did you hear about this, Mando? This outage that happened?
I did.
It's been fixed, and they say that it'll never happen again, but they aren't really saying what happened. It's just like some point of failure happened, and they're like, we're going to make sure it doesn't happen again, but we have to figure out exactly why it happened. It's like, okay, well, that doesn't sound very good. And if I get an email in 3 months that's like, your data was breached, I'm going to be so pissed. Sirius, welcome in. Final Fantasy VI Remake, speaking of Final Fantasy VI, Mando from earlier, would need 4 or 5 games to do the story justice. That's according to Yoshi P. And same goes for Final Fantasy 8 and 9. Quote, it's such an incredible, huge game. The scale is just immense. This was from a panel he was on about Final Fantasy 14. And they were asking, like, what games he has, like, a bunch of inspiration from, and, like, if he would like to see remakes done of them. And he's like, oh, I'd like for it to be done, but it would need, as I said, 4 or 5 games.
Playing through Final Fantasy VI, that sounds about kind of
Does it? You think so?
You could make it Final Fantasy VI is an interesting game where you can get through it really fast, and then you find out that most of the characters are actually optional, which means that there's so much additional shit to do in the game. And so they're probably looking at it from that perspective of how much you can actually do.
Yeah.
And yeah, from that perspective, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I've not played 6. But it's also like, can't we just remake it with like a new coat of paint and like maybe a 16-bit instead of 8-bit? And like, that's enough? Can't that be enough? We don't have to.
Yeah.
We do it in full 3D with all these mini games and shit, but.
Shots fired. Final Fantasy 7.
I mean, they're good, but
the mini games, man. The mini games.
I don't know that I need to be playing soccer with the cat.
Yeah,
that 100%. PS Plus games for August: Big Walk, Dying Light 2, Stay Human Reloaded Edition. Fucking A, that's a title. And Signalis. A very strong month. I've beat the drum of Signalis many times before.
Yeah, I was just about to say that's the one here that
I'll probably jump into Dying Light 2, and then also we're gonna try to do a Big Walk stream right here on Dropout next week on Thursday.
Okay.
In lieu of our Thursday episode, because we're maybe gonna have a different episode for a cool thing. So that's a little sneak peek for next week as well. Capcom had yet another strong quarter with RE9 passing 8 million sold and Pragmata hitting 2.5 million sold. Quarter 1 up 54% year over year. Capcom, man, they are killing it, crushing it. They're doing so well.
Shout out
did you
to
play
Pragmata.
either of those?
I'm not a horror game guy, so enjoy y'all Resident Evil 9. But I heard
Sure.
But that Pragmata,
so
my
good.
God, it was so good. So good. One of my favorite games of the year.
Yeah, it's in my top 5 at the moment for sure. Yeah. So is RE9. Very, very strong year for Capcom. This is a sad one. The devs behind Crystal Theater of Idols, which is a game that we've talked about. This was a dumpster dive many months ago from Cayman, but it's been shut down, unfortunately. This was a game published by Blumhouse, I believe, and they got the axe, which is very sad. But that game, we also heard from folks in the community, like that game rips. It sounds like it's like a BioShock type, but like horror. So not for you, but it looks very cool, and like the art style is very, very pretty. So that's a sad one. And then some other news: Spider-Man 2 is getting an update on the PS5 with 2 new suits alongside the release of the new movie this Friday, and Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls at the beginning of August. Going to get one new suit for each of those games in Spider-Man 2, as well as the pisser upscaling on the PS5 Pro. Yeah, the PSSR, baby.
I love that everybody calls it that.
Me too. It's the best. But so yeah, getting a nice little update to Spider-Man 2. I might, if I have time, especially if after Wolverine, if there's some tying in with Spider-Man, maybe I'll go back and give Spider-Man 2 another a run through. But there's a lot of games I'm trying to run through again. Like, I want to play through Control again before Control Resonant. I want to try to play through Ragnarok before Laufey. Like, I don't know that I have time to be replaying all these games, but we'll see.
I have 2 trophies left in Spider-Man 2.
Which ones do you remember?
Me. I don't. I forget. I just know that I was trying to do them, and they're like, I feel like they're bugged. I felt like my trophies were bugged. There was no way that I was doing what I was doing, and I was not getting.
Oh, so like a combat one, probably.
You know, yeah. And when I looked it up at the time, some people were also dealing with issues with that trophy, and I was like, all right, I'll come back another year to
which
get
is
my
tough
platinum.
Because that kind of a thing, like with Spider-Man, the combat system is so complex. Mm-hmm. You can't go get that trophy right now. You have to start the game over.
Yeah. Basically.
Last one, a Dragon Age remaster trilogy. Is it? Would you ever be interested in a Dragon Age remaster trilogy, Mando?
I would, and mostly because I actually own 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But something you hear about Dragon Age on PC is that like the control, like playing it on a controller is damn near impossible to get like the configurations. It wasn't made to be played on a controller, and there's like all this hoopla about it. And I've wanted to play it because I hear it's just that damn good. It's great. It's one of their best games. So I haven't given it a chance, but a trilogy would excite me because maybe we get those controls in order. Maybe we get a little upscaling. And
unfortunately, a trilogy is not happening.
I saw the next word. I was like, unlikely. Okay.
Unlikely from EA because apparently I find this so interesting. Nobody knows the old engine anymore. Everybody that worked on. So apparently, the first 2 Dragon Age games were built on an in-house studio engine called Aurora, and like a version of Aurora was the second one. It was like Liminal or something that's not called Aurora, but it was like Aurora 2.0. While the Mass Effect ones, that happened because they were all in Unreal. 2 of the 3 games were made in one that they made themselves, and then Inquisition was made in EA's Frostbite engine. So they basically were like, we could probably do Inquisition, but the first 2 games we just don't have anybody that can do it. And so it's like, that's such a bummer that there just like isn't the knowledge anymore. And you know why? Probably because I bet they were fucking laid off. I don't know that for a fact, but
or they left because
they probably
there's been all this stuff going on with BioWare and a lot of their tenured staff leaving for whatever reason. Really unfortunate.
But that's a bummer. I wasn't necessarily like holding my breath for a Dragon Age remaster of the original games, but it would have been very, very cool.
It's a franchise that warrants it, though.
Like, I remember so vividly the first, when I got Dragon Age Origins, the first one, I had asked for it for Christmas, but I wasn't like, I was in high school for sure, so my list would be pretty long of like, I want all these games and all these things, and I want Rock Band, and I want all the like expensive shit.
Rock Band.
And so I just like rolled the dice and I was like, I bet I'm not going to get Dragon Age Origins. So I just bought it myself at GameStop, and one of my siblings got it for me, and I opened it up, and instead of like being excited, I was like, oh, I had bought this myself. And she was so pissed, rightfully so, that I was like, oh, I asked for this, but then I bought it myself and I didn't tell anybody. It's like, oh yeah, that was shitty. That was a bad move on my part. But
I also think it would be good to get a remaster of these games because Dragon Age has also changed so much over the course of time that I think it would be nice for maybe fans of the newer games like Inquisition and stuff to see what Dragon Age was before.
Yeah. Also, there was in this article, because this was broken by a former dev that is no longer with EA. They left during COVID, but they were like, the idea was that they wanted to have like something that kind of pieced all 3 together as well. So like there would have been like a little bit of new shit too, which was, I always love it when like with Black Flag, some of like the little new stuff that they've added in is like, oh, it's fun to like see all these years later, them just like adding a little bit of new spice.
See the changes, see the additions. You see what I'm talking about?
I see what you're talking about. I see what you're talking about. Well, Mando, that does bring us to the end of our show. Mando, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
No, of course. Anytime. Appreciate you.
What are you doing next week?
You already know you can always, Well, I mean, if you need to sit in, let me know. Like, hit me up.
We need to get you on Dido. We need to get you for a non-news. I only ever talk news with you.
I gotta get you on We Talking About Games.
Hey, you know where to find me.
Because that's another thing with Jordan too. I was like, damn, I met Jordan. Jordan was on my podcast before fucking Patrick. I was like, I had a whole nother podcast that Patrick didn't even get to come on, and Jordan already slipped in.
Hey, that's what he does. He slips in.
He slips. I was about to say, pun intended.
Well, folks, thank you for being here. Thanks for watching. Go to dropindropoutpod.com. Join the Discord. Follow us on socials. Buy some merch, perhaps. But as I wind down the show, Mando, where can they find you on the internet?
Y'all can find me at Chancleta Mangu. That's my personal account where I talk about billionaires not existing or should not exist, and basketball.
Exist.
And then
I'm not sure why it's even up for debate.
For debate. Yeah. When I thought of that jingle, I was like, God damn, I think this is a banger.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
So yeah, that's my personal page. And then We Talking About Games. That's the gaming page on pretty much every platform.
Hell yes. Well, again, thank you so much for being here. We will be back tomorrow night for some Halo, and then Thursday night, myself and Jerica for the Drop In, Drop Out podcast. We will see you next time. Until then, bye-bye.